Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ajilam here. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. If you're new here, you're welcome. Consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that you don't miss out any of my future videos. So for today, we are going to be making a simple combination dress with a waistband and a bow for a little girl. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Alright, here I have my fabrics. This is my satin. It's a leftover satin. It's just I think half yard. Okay, I'll be joining this side. Alright, so this is my hairstay. I'll be needing this for the upper part. This is my taffeta. That is what I'll be using, and this is my net. And make sure that you have matching colors of your lining. Alright, so we're going to start by drafting out the bodice. Okay, so this is for a 2-year-old, and I'll be making this dress for a 2-year-old girl. So this is my basic bodice pattern. If you don't know how to do this, I already have a video on this. I'm going to drop the link in the description box so you can check that out. So this is what I have. I'm going to take a fresh paper now. Okay, I will just mark this out. Okay, I'll just mark it out without all these curves. Alright, this is what I have. After marking that out, you can see that I just traced it out without all these curving here. Okay, after sewing, we are going to be using this now to draft it out very well. So this is what I have. First, you need to determine how many inches you want to use for the combination that you want to attach on this upper side. So for me, I'll be making mine 1.5. Okay, so I'll just mark 1.5 from that shoulder this way, and then I'll connect. Okay, so this is where the first combination will come in. Then you need to decide how many inches you want to be using also for the combination you want to use. So I am going to use 1.5 inch for all my combinations. So I'll just mark out another 1.5 inch. Okay, so this is where my first combination will come in. All right, so this is the first combination here. Okay, so now I am going to mark out another 1.5 inch. Like I said, I'll just make mine all through 1.5. If you want, you can make it 1.25 or even 2 inches, depending on what you're trying to achieve. All right, so this is the main fabric. From here, I'm going to mark out another 1.5, which is the second combination. So after marking it out, we're going to slash them open and then cut on our fabric. But when you want to cut, make sure that you add your sewing allowance. Okay, so this is the second combination. So I'm going to cut all this off. Then we are going to be adding 1/4 inch on both sides for the sewing or the stitching allowance. Okay, so this is how I'm going to cut. Now if you want to have it more than 2 combination, you can also choose to make it 1 inch so that it can reach it can carry up to 3 combination on this front side, although it depends on this age that you're working with. So this is just for a 2-year-old, so I'll just go ahead and cut. This is the first combination. I'm going to cut it off. And then I'm going to repeat the same on this other one here. All right, so this is what we'll have. We are going to cut this off as well. Alright, so this is what I have in total. This is the first one. Okay, now this is what I have. I am going to place this on my fabric now and then add 1/2 inch. This is the upper one. I will not be adding any sewing allowance on this part because on my pattern I've already added the shoulder and waist sewing allowance. So for this first one and this last one, I will not be adding any sewing allowance on this part. I will only add on this edge, this other side, while these other 3 here you will need to add on both sides. So let me just quickly place on my fabric and cut out so we can start sewing. So this is it after slashing all of them. This is the first one and this is the second. Okay, you can also use numbers so that you don't make any mistake to note all your slashes. So this is it. I'm going to open it up now and we'll start joining it together. Whatever I did here, as you can see, this is the back. You are going to repeat the same for the back. Okay, so I will just go ahead and open it up now. I'll start with this first one, and then I am going to join it with this. Okay, after joining it, you will give it a good press. That is how I will continue and join the rest of this, following the way I marked or the way I cut them out. So after sewing this, I'm going to do the back side same way before we now use our pattern now to trace it out nicely. Alright guys, this is what I have after joining them together. This is for the front, the back, while this other side is for the front. So you can see that I use my hairstay on it to close up this back side. So at this point, I'm going to use my pattern now and place it on top and then cut it out nicely so we can join the neckline, the shoulder, as well as the armhole. So after joining it, I'll just give it a good press so we can cut the lower parts. Right, this is what I have after sewing that. Like I said, I just joined the shoulders and I sew the neckline and the armhole. Then you turn it inside out and give it a press, which is what I've done here already. And this is the little band that I'll be adding on this waist line. Okay, so I'm going to close the side and then keep it aside so we can cut the lower part. Now here I have, this is what I have left of my satin. Like I said earlier, I am using just half yard. Okay, for that there will be joining for the lower side. There's going to be a joining for the band for the lower part of this dress. But if you have a straight like 2 yards, which is what I'll be using for the lower part, you can just cut it straight and then use it to make the band that is going to be on the lower part. So because of that, I will just fold this into 2 and then cut. Each one of it is going to be for the front and the other is going to be for the band at the back side. So I'll just open this up now. Right, so this is it. I'll be using this for the front and this other one for the back side. So what I have here, if you measure this is 36 inches together with this, making it 2 yards. So I'll cut off 2 yards from my net. Here I have 4 yards of soft net. So I'm going to cut out 2 yards, which is going to be where I'll be adding the band, and the other 2 yards I'm going to sew those ones on my satin, or rather on my taffeta. I'll use the 2 yards to create like layers because I don't want to add hard net to this dress. Okay, now that is another way to make this dress without adding any hard net. I also have a detailed video on how to go about making a ball dress without adding hard net, and it will still come out very nice. So I'll go ahead now and cut out 2 yards from this net. All right, here I have my 2 yards. I just folded it for easy cutting. So I'm going to cut off this edge. I don't want this edge to be in my dress, so I'll just cut it off. Now the length of the lower part is 14 inches. Because I'll be making the band 2 inches, that is to say I'll be cutting out 12 inches for the lower part, plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, that is the sewing of the band and that of the waist side, making it 13 inches. So I'm going to mark out 13 inches now and cut it out. So this is where I'll be sewing in the band. So let me just cut this out. Okay, so this is where I'll be sewing the band on. So I'll just take this and join it, making it a very long strip. Okay, so I'll just join it here, making it a very long strip. Then I'll take that now and sew it on this side. Alright, after sewing the band, this is what the down part looks like. Okay, now you can see that I have joining on the side. This is one and this is the second one. All you need to do when you're joining this on the upper part, make sure that this side that has this joining will align very well with the upper part. That is the line, the joining part of the upper part. I hope you understand that. So now I'm going to take my gather stitch and run it all the way down and then gather it to the waist measurement that I'm working with. All right, so this is my taffeta. Okay, now we are going to use the half circle method to cut this out because I want this side to have layers. The leftover fabric that I'm using, that is the net, I'll be joining all on this part so that it will make the dress to have a little volume. All right, so I'm going to use the waist measurement, which is 21 inches plus 1 inch for my zipper allowance, making it 22 inches. We're going to divide that by 3.14. So if I do that, it's going to give me 7 inches. So I'm going to mark that out from here. I'll just mark that to this other end. And guys, our online classes are on. If you're interested in any of it, just send me a WhatsApp message on the number that you're seeing now, or check the description box for more details on the classes. All right, so I'll just connect this very easy, and then I'm going to mark out the length of this, which is 13 inches. Remember, the actual length is 14, but I'll be making this side 13 inches. By the time I roll hem, it's going to be more shorter, which is still okay. So I'll go ahead now and mark this out. After marking it out, I'm going to cut and decide how many layers I want to use for this side. If you have a lot, you can make it 3 layers, but I think I'll make it just 2. Okay, the other net that I have, that is the 2 yards, and this one, this is what is left after cutting out the length. I will just attach all on these parts. Okay, so let me just cut this and then I'll mark out the lines for the layers. So guys, this is what it looks after joining the layers. This is it. These are the layers. Okay, I just finished that and I use this one now to place on it and use my gather stitch to secure it nicely on the waist. I have a detailed video on how to go about layering the inside. I'm going to drop the link in the description box so you can check that as well. So at this point, I'm going to take the upper part, which is ready. This is the upper part, and then I am going to join it with the lower part. And for your lining, you need to cut the same way you cut your satin. That is how you're going to be cutting your lining. And here you can also, on the lining, you can also attach a little hard net if you want it to be more fluffy than this. Okay, so now I will just go ahead and join the waist and then close the back side, leaving the zipper area, after which I'm going to attach the zipper to it, and I'll just show you the final look of this dress. All right, this is the final look of the dress. This is how it is. This is the front and this is the back. all that is left now is for me to add my zipper and bow. And if you have your applique, you can also attach it here, or any parts that you want to attach that. So yes, that is how to make this beautiful dress, and you can actually make this if you really put your mind to it. All right, so please like this video, share, subscribe if you have not, and I will see you all soon.